Oh, excuse me. I was just going over this snappy piece of music called the Crestview High School Fight Song. I hear it's getting a lot of play these days by some 260 kids folks is calling the Big Red Machine. You've heard of the Big Red Machine. I bet you didn't know that I started it back in 1938. My name is Romulus Thompson. I'm a native of Water Valley, Kentucky. As a younger man, back in the roaring 20s, I used to play my saxophone and violin with dance bands down in Miami and Tampa. And after that, the Tampa Symphony Orchestra. So you see, I know quite a bit about music and bands. When my family and I moved to Defuniak Springs, I became Walton High School's band director. Shortly after, in the spring of 1938, a prominent group of Crestview businessmen asked me to direct a band that at the time only existed in the daydreams of a small group of civic visionaries. I felt just like Professor Harold Hill in that Broadway show The Music Man, making a band out of nothing. As soon as I got to Crestview, I put a call out in the newspapers for students interested in learning how to play band instruments. Now you should know that this was during the Great Depression, and Crestview wasn't a rich town during those times. How were the kids and their parents going to be able to afford their instruments? And how was the town going to be able to afford me? Luckily, the town's band committee and other good folks in Crestview didn't abandon us. I'm sure you all can understand that during the Great Depression, the school district of Okaloosa County was perpetually short of funds, like so many folks during those times. On many paydays, teachers were paid in script or promissory notes, which could be redeemed for real money when the school board scraped up enough funds. Luckily, local businesses honored script as payment for groceries and other necessities. Well, the band committee members and I made our rounds to all those stores in town and asked those nice merchants to sign their little piles of script over to the band. And wouldn't you know it, they came through for us. Now it was time for the kids and I to go to work. I had to teach most of them individually before they'd be ready to play together as a group. I'd say that most of those kids had never even held an instrument before then. One boy I remember well was Earl Campbell. His mama made him join the band to be more well-rounded, even though his heart and his daddy were both set on him playing for the football team. Little Earl learned to play his trombone parts by mimicking the movements of the boy next to him, and soon after, we had a small repertoire of basic tunes and marches. Well, folks, you can imagine the surprise on everyone's faces on June 4th, 1938. Only a few short weeks after we really got going, we made our public debut. We paraded up this very street and held a concert on the courthouse lawn. We only had 36 band members then, but after our glorious debut, it didn't take long for that number to jump up into the 50s. And soon after, we had earned enough support to go from homemade uniforms to beautiful factory-made uniforms styled after West Point cadet outfits, which gave us the confidence, and I mean both the kids and me, to try our luck in a district competition. In the spring of 1939, a year after our start, we went to Defuniak Springs, where we played in Class C, which was one class higher than where we were supposed to be. Well, wouldn't you know it? We won the highest rating possible. The year after that, we took a mighty big risk and entered the district competition at the Class A level and beat the larger, more experienced Pensacola band, receiving the prestigious First Division rating. Well, the rest is history. Today, under the gifted Mr. Jody Dunn, that Big Red Machine is winning competitions all over the region and the state. That little band we started from nothing now has more than 250 members and has played all over the country, including the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York, the deck of the USS Missouri in Pearl Harbor, and its biggest honor, the Rose Parade out in Pasadena, California. It's a marvelous feeling to see what we made from kids who couldn't play an instrument in a town who couldn't afford a band. But with the backing of our great community, we went on to do some really great things. We sure are proud of our Big Red Machine. I want to thank you all for stopping by, hearing my story.